Hey everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I appreciate you stopping by. I do a lot of home cooking, pantry hauls, food bank hauls, things like that. If that's the kind of content you're into, I hope you consider subscribing. In this video, I scrounge up all the videos I have made of me cooking, doing pantry meals. I got a breakfast, a couple of dinners, and a dessert for you. So let's start cooking. All right, everybody, for this meal, I'm going to just be making a breakfast egg scramble. So I have 12 eggs here that I'm just scrambling up. And then over here, I have some bread toasting in my skillet. I'm gonna get all those pieces nice and toasty before I use the same skillet to cook my eggs. This is just bread with butter and a hot pan. What more do you need? So this is just a dozen eggs. I'm adding just a little bit of half and half. That's what I have available. Milk will also work. Just kind of helps makes the eggs a little more fluffier when you cook them. Look at that nice yellow color of them farm fresh eggs. Looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside. And then I have onions that I have pre-cut and diced just in my fridge, and also peppers, some red and some green, that I'm going to add in here for a mixture. Let's get these swapped. I just have these already buttered on a plate, and then I swap them out as they get done. That way I don't have to stop and butter in between slices. I can cook them all at once. I have some of this turkey pastrami, so we're gonna cube some of this up and add it. Yoda, this is not cheese. Get out of here. Not you. Anytime my cat hears anything plastic, she thinks it's cheese. She's down here pretending to be my best friend. I know, you are my best friend, I know. Let's check. Oh, good. I'm just gonna off of it. Oh, that looks good. You guys ever tried turkey pastrami before? It's one of my favorites. I never really tried it until I worked in a deli, and I would slice it, and I tried it, and it was really good. Some people would come get it sliced and put on sandwiches. I can see why. So I'm just gonna rough cube this. This is gonna be one of our proteins in there. And I like all that pepper on the side too. And then we still have a good chunk left. I'm just gonna leave this. I'm not gonna prep that yet. As you can hear, the children are playing quietly in their rooms. Ah. Oh yeah, look at that crunch. And we're just gonna put this in my measuring cup. I made about a cup of meat there, and I'm also gonna dice up some small red potatoes. Pretty small dice because I want these to cook fairly quickly. I like to, if it comes apart on you, I like to reassemble it for easier cuttage. So that worked out perfect, the timing where our bread is done. I got my potatoes chopped, my meat prepped, just in time for my skillet to become available. Right now I have it on about a 7 for my gas. I'm gonna take a towel and get some of the crusties out. Good old bacon grease. Yeah, that's what you want to hear. we're gonna let those cook first for a couple minutes, and then we'll add our peppers and onions. And these have a little more color on them. So we've been cooking for a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the peppers and our onions. This is nice about having these pre-cut. You can just add however much or however little you would like, depending on your family's taste. I like always having those red peppers. It really adds a good pop of color in there. I'm also going to put in the pastrami. Get that in there. And we're going to let that cook for a couple minutes. And I'm going to add some salt. You know, potatoes love salt. If you have anything with potatoes, you got to add some salt. These look pretty good. Oh, potato flew out. Might as well test it for the doneness. Yeah, those taste good. They still have some texture, but they're not like mush. So they're good. So I'm going to plop a little more bacon grease in there because I'm about to put all my eggs in there. I'm going to try not to have them stick to my pan. Sometimes scrambled eggs just stick. Alright, so I'm just going to pour all my eggs on top of it and let it incorporate and cook all together. Whenever you're doing eggs, you start from the side and kind of make sure you're touching the bottom and pull to the center. This makes a nice fluffy egg versus just like scrambling. It gives you looser pieces. This will give you big fluffy pieces. Just pulling them this way. Pulling them towards the center. And by the time you get around to the side you just did, it'll be cooked and ready to get pulled again. I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt to the eggs. I'm not really gonna add any pepper because that pastrami had a lot of pepper on the outside of it. Right, this point I will turn my heat off. I do not like overcooked eggs, so I will turn it off and then I will add a lid to it to let it finish cooking that way. For the kids' plate, I just break up the bread, like bite-sized pieces for them. Scoop of our potato egg mixture. Spread it around. And then topped with some shredded cheese. And that's what they're gonna have. Go, quick, easy meal. You can have this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, honestly. Throw some gravy on there, some salsa, and you got yourself a nice, delicious meal. Today I'm going to be making I like to call it refrigerator pasta because it's pretty much any kind of veggies you have left in your fridge that you need to use, any kind of meat, and you just throw it all together and you make a cream sauce and bam, it's a pasta. It's a little bit different every time. So let's get this pasta started and I'll show you what we're doing. So this is what I have to work with. This is just a little onion, bell pepper, and this is some cut up sausage, kielbasa cut of sausage that I had left over that I need to use. I have this veggie tray that I'm going to cut up and use, and then I got some mushrooms and some chicken thighs. So I got my pan over here. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Just enough to get the party started. I'm gonna throw all this down. I'm gonna stir this. And spread that around there. Also gonna put some of my chicken thighs in there, get them cooking. Use about half of it. And I'm gonna put some pepper on this. The heat's kind of set at a medium-high. I've got some Korean chili flakes. Put a couple. These aren't really spicy, they're kind of sweet. So just a couple in there. And of course some salt. Put some sea salt here. That's cooking. We'll slice up some veggies. Okay, so I got a wet towel down here. Remember, anytime you have the cutting board, you want to put that towel down there so it stays nice and firm on you. Hold your knife, you want to grip it, you want to pinch it. You don't want to hold it with your finger like this because that's very wobbly. Whereas you pinch it, then it goes where you take it, not the other way around. So, wobbly, not wobbly. Now since I have it out, I'm probably not going to use all this, but I'm going to go ahead and cut all this up and have it in my pan. So that way maybe tomorrow I can make like a vegetable stir fry or something like that. Or a vegetable noodle dish. Something different using the same ingredients, but you make something different and it kind of changes it up. Alright, there we go. Nice container of veggies. Chicken's starting to get a little sear on it. For the pasta, I've got some farfalle here I'm going to use. So I just got a pot of water going with some salt, and I'm going to get this in. Then I'm going to kind of push everything a little to the side, make a little hole, and then saute some of these veggies. And then this is how much I have left for another meal. Oh yeah, and my mushrooms. Can't forget the mushrooms. Man, I might need a second pan. What do you guys think? Just diced up the mushrooms some. Put those in there. You don't need no another pan. Right at this point, you can see it's all pretty cooked, charred. We got flavor, we got smells. Smells delicious. So I'm going to add a knob of butter and kind of make like a little roux. Now, if you were using heavy whipping cream to make a cream sauce out of this, you would not have to make a roux. That would just automatically make a sauce. But I'm going to be using half and half, so I want to add some butter and some flour. Just to make sure it's nice and thick. So, I'm going to help get some of this off on the bottom there. About an equal amount of flour. Gonna coat everything. Let this cook for about another minute, get all that flour out. Or all that flour cooked out, I should say. Alright, half and half. I want a lot of sauce, so I'm filling her up. When you're here, you kind of want to scrape the bottom because all those charred pieces on the bottom, that's where all that flavor is. Those crispy bits. Yeah. You see this is already starting to thicken up, making a nice sauce. So we're just gonna wait for the pasta. And that's our dinner. I'm gonna try it, make sure it's tasty. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add more salt. So this is all done, so I'm gonna turn it off and then we're just gonna wait for our pasta. All right, pasta, check. Here comes our sauce, meat, veggie mixture. That's what I'm talking about. Last thing I'm gonna put in is some Parmesan cheese. Stir, stir, stir. And that's what's for dinner. You just take whatever kind of meats or vegetables that you have in your fridge that you need to get rid of, saute that up, add some flour, some milk. If you don't have half and half or even regular milk, you can use evaporated milk. That works great. And then add whatever pasta you choose, and there's dinner. Hey everybody, for tonight's dinner we are going to be cooking with some chicken thighs. I'm going to be showing you an easy, hands-off casserole that you can make with it. It's chicken and rice, simple, everyday ingredients that you'd have in your pantry. So let's get this dinner started. I have a 9x13 casserole dish here with 1 cup of raw white rice down on the bottom, and then just 1 raw yellow onion diced up and on top. And then on top of that, you want some type of chicken. Bone in is preferred because it gives it a chance to not get overcooked, because you're gonna need that cook time with that rice. So I have bone-in thighs, that's what we're doing. I picked off some of the skin on half of them and left some on there, so fat that'll melt down will add flavor to it. And that's all I have done at this point. So from here, I have 2 1/3 cups of water. Okay, and to this 2 1/3 cup of water, I'm gonna add a can of cream of mushroom. This one happens to be roasted garlic. So this is what I'm going to add. You know what? So the original recipe called for 2 2/3 cup of water plus chicken bouillon. So instead of that, I'm just going to do homemade chicken stock instead of combining it like that. So 2 1/3 cup of chicken stock. And then if you don't have chicken stock, then you can just use the chicken powder. And then 1 can of cream of mushroom. This one happens to be cream of mushroom with roasted garlic. I thought that sounded good. So we're going to add 1 can of that. Give that a mix. So we're just going to take our mixture and pour it over our chicken. Okay, I like to kind of pick up each little piece of chicken, make sure there's liquid underneath it. like so. And then you're gonna take your favorite Creole seasoning or Cajun seasoning. I have this African peri-peri rub that I am trying to use up. So this is what I'm going to sprinkle on top. Just a good sprinkle all the way across. A couple teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon, just like that. And this is going to go in a 375-degree oven for 1 hour. Just like this. You're not going to cover it or anything. Alright, she just came out of the oven. This has been in there for an hour. The chicken is done. And she's bubbling, so we're just going to let this cool and then we'll serve it up. Alright, here's what our food ended up looking like. Here's the rice. I did determine it needed a little bit of salt, so I just sprinkled some on it. And this is how it turned out. Looks perfect. Then I just heated up some frozen broccoli. And then this is one of the chicken, oh darn kids, yeah. One of the chickens without the skin on it. Thought I'd show you how that's cooked. My husband does not like eating bones, like chicken bones or anything like that. So I always cut it for him anyway and get it off the bone for him. He's a lucky man, let me tell you. But yeah, it's cooked all the way through. It's nice and juicy. I love bone in because I feel like that bone really keeps the meat moist. Yeah, pretty good. And there we go. There's our delicious dinner. Oh, looks good. I might steal this piece. Arr. Hey everybody. So for tonight's dinner, I have some leftover barbecue brisket that I did in the crock pot. If you missed that video, I can link that one down below. And I want to use this up before it goes bad. So what I decided to make are some enchiladas. I got some sauce here that I have in my pantry that I need to use up. I have this can of beans that's been sitting there in a while because I'm not quite sure what they taste like. So I'm going to open them up and we're going to taste them. So we're going to do that and make some dinner. I'm pretty sure this will be enough to make 2 dinners, so while I'm making one, I'm going to make another one and throw it in the freezer. So first thing I am going to do is get this in Chef Mike for about 2 minutes, just to kind of loosen her up so I can shred it. Alrighty, and this is the pan I'm going to use to make for dinner. And then I have my freezer pan that comes with the lid for my freezer. First thing you're going to do is open some of these up. I got 3 cans here, but I think I'm going to use the 2 big ones to start out with. My husband prefers beef enchiladas, whereas I prefer chicken. He has never had brisket enchiladas because I've never made it before. I usually either use ground beef or chicken thighs. So this will be a new meat option for us, but I bet it's going to be delicious. Okay, I like to pour a little bit of the sauce in the pan just to kind of get it nice and coated. A little extra. We're going to roll our tortillas in the sauce as well. Make sure you scrape your cans, get every last bit out. You paid good money for these canned goods. Don't throw it away because you didn't scrape the can. You know, like even the lids. That's a teaspoon of good sauce right there. Okay, it's good for now. Let's open our tortillas. I'm gonna take a break, wash my hands. Well, I'll just use a towel here so I don't get too saucy. Alright, this was 2 minutes. Let's see how it shreds. Oh, pretty good. No. Oh, so good. I'm just going to break it up in my hands. I feel like that'll be easier. It's not really that hot. There's still some cold spots in it. Oh yeah, this is going to be good. How much you want to bet my husband's gonna want it this way from now on? I'll be like, there is no other enchilada except for brisket enchilada. I'm taking out like some of the big fatty pieces. I'll give that to my dog, he'll like that. Okay. Wash real quick. I do have some leftover rice as well. Whenever I make rice, I always make enough for the meal I'm cooking plus some extra, so that way I have a nice side dish or a filler for a stuffing or some kind that's already ready to go, where I don't have to stop and cook, it's already prepped. So we're gonna use this to add to our mixture to kind of fluff it up a bit. Actually, I'm gonna do one size up. Good luck to whoever opens that cabinet next. Joke's on me, because it'll be me. Okay, putting the brisket in. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Some rice. I guess I'll put all of it in. Whoa, and then put some on the floor. Mix that up a bit. Probably too much rice. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be okay. Now that rice is I cooked in homemade turkey broth, so it has lots of flavor. All right, I'm gonna open up this can of green chilies here. I'm using a good amount of stuff for my stockpile. You know, it's nice to have a stockpile for reserves, and then it also feels good to use it. So you know you're not just getting food and having it sit. You're actually rotating it through your pantry. So that way it doesn't go bad. Just use it, you know. Stock food you're going to use. Okay. Put that in there. I'm going to pour a little bit of the sauce in there. Okay, and then I'm going to add some cheese. Now we are also going to put cheese on top of this, so I'm not going to add too much. But you know, Mama Bear like it cheesy, so we got to add that cheese. That was mozzarella cheese. You know, pepper jack cheese would be good in this too, if everybody liked spicy. I'm hoping when my kids get older, they'll enjoy spicy, so I don't have to tone down my food all the time. One of the downfalls of having younger kids, I guess, is that you gotta make everything mild. But hopefully we'll grow out of that. All right, I'm gonna give it a try. Tastes pretty good. I'm gonna add some seasonings. All right, first thing, salt. Garlic powder, black pepper, and some cumin. Lots of the Mexican dish, tacos, enchiladas, stuff like that, that flavor that you identify Mexican with is cumin. Oven's ready. Let's mix this up. I'm gonna try it again. Oh, that's better. Okay. So let's start assembling. I'm gonna bring you in close so you can see what I'm doing. Take our flour tortilla. These ones are wheat. Get them wet. This is a little more like a burrito than an enchilada. This is just the way my mama always did it. And then you're going to take about half a cup of filling or so. It depends on what kind of, how big your tortilla is. You just want it, you know, pretty stuffed. And then I always like to fold in the ends. Oh, she just got one tortilla. Fold it in. And then roll it. I kind of got small tortillas, so I'm going to have small burritos, but that's okay. And then there's one. Okay, so kind of like, again, do a little less filling. Just enough to make sure it gets nice and full. Tuck those ends. Roll it, make sure it's nice and tight, and then roll over. Burrito.
Is that how we do burritos?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, here's all of the enchiladas I was able to get using all of that mixture. So that's completely gone. So we can get that rice and that beef out of the fridge and into some dinner meals, so that feels good. Got a little bit of this big can of enchilada sauce left, so I'm gonna use the remainder to pour over it. Oh, I hear Jack. Oh, good boy. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Alright. And then some more of our cheese. No, like I said, this is mozzarella, probably better. Pepper jack, Colby jack, something like that. But we use what we got here on Mama Bear. Alright, and we're gonna throw this one in the oven at 375 for about 45 minutes. We'll check it. And then this one, we have our lid here. Well, first of all, I need to scrape this enchilada sauce. What did I say? We don't waste. Look at all that coming out. Okay. All right, now that we have the enchilada sauce in there, I'm gonna put my freezer lid on here. These are really cool containers where you don't have to wrap them in plastic or foil. It has a nice covered lid that keeps it from getting frostbite for up to 6 months at least. I have these linked in my description box below if you're interested in that. And then to label these, I don't want to put permanent marker on them, obviously. So I just get a piece of packing tape here, put it on the top, and then write on it with a Sharpie. So I'm just gonna say beef enchilada, and then the day I made them, or the month I made them, and the year. There we go. And there's one freezer meal ready to go. So I opened the can that was in Spanish and I couldn't read it, and it's just plain pinto beans, nothing fancy. So we're going to just make some refried beans for a side then. So I'm gonna start with some bacon grease here. This is leftover from this morning. I cooked off some bacon. Always save your bacon grease. So much flavor. I am going to pour off a little bit of this liquid. I'm just going to pour off most of it. Kind of smash it a little bit with the fork against the side of the can. We're going to smash it more in the pan as well. I wonder if my emulsion blender would work. Let's give it a try. Got my emulsion blender. Oh yeah. Well, look at that. That worked like a charm. Add some seasoning, some cumin. Pepper. Pretty much much exact same seasoning that we added to the enchiladas. We're gonna add to the beans. Garlic powder. And salt. Give it a try for the seasoning. Ooh, tastes good in my mouth. I decided I'm gonna add some onion powder to it as well. I'm just gonna let this cook out, let it thicken up a little bit. Can you see that bubblage? And that, my friends, is what's for dinner. For our super easy dessert, we're going to put 1 can of pie filling on the bottom of a 9x13 dish. This happens to be homemade apple pie filling that I have down here. And then I have 1 box of spiced cake mix that I got for 30 cents on clearance. We're just going to take the dry mix and just sprinkle it over the apple pie filling. This is one where you could do any kind of filling and any kind of mix. I'm just gonna level it out. Next, I'm going to put 1 stick of butter. This was frozen butter, so it's kind of in different size chunks because I cut it when it was frozen. You can also do melted butter. I actually usually do melted butter, but I saw that you can just do globs of butter all over the top and it'll melt. So I am going to try that this time. All right, and this is gonna go in a 350-degree oven. We're gonna do it for 20 minutes and check it from there. All right, our apple dump cake is out. Now, I did check it at 20 minutes and it had a lot of dry spots, like of powdered. So I think from now on, instead of putting the butter on there like that, I will melt it and pour it over like I have done in the past. I will do another one showing that technique. But as you can see, I just added some more butter on top of it and then threw it back in so it melted all the way. But now, this is a pretty yummy looking apple cake. Super easy, fast dessert. You could do peach filling with vanilla cake or yellow cake. I did apple with spice cake. You could do cherries with chocolate cake. It's so versatile and yummy. All right, and that's super easy apple dump cake. That's all the recipes I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed all the different meals I made. Please leave me some comments below if you've tried similar things or what you would have made with the ingredients that I had on hand. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's.